fight the power like Big Chuck.
What's the status, 3?
I'm good, just making the world a better place, that's all.
What is good? It's a quick video, so this is a quick video. If anyone's been keeping up with the Baltimore Bridge, you know, this is a quick video, about 10 minutes. It's a lot of good speculation. It's a video by R.F.B, Richie from Boston. And a lot of good speculation. Me, I don't know, I'm still investigating. But let's get into this video and we'll speak a little more at the end. And I want to know what you think about this in the comments. Let's get it.
Video of the moment that the cargo ship slammed into Baltimore's Key Bridge. Take a look at this video. So stunning to see. You see the ship here hit a pillar underneath the bridge. You see a plume of smoke, and then the nearly 2-mile bridge crashes down into the frigid waters of the harbor below. The 47-year-old bridge stretches across the Patapsco River here. At least 35,000 drivers cross this every single day. Though this collision happened at 1:30 in the morning, sadly, there were still casualties. Let's tell you the very latest that we are learning at this hour. 8 construction workers were on the bridge at the time of the collapse. Within the last 30 minutes, a senior executive at Bronner Builders, that's the construction company, they announced that 6 of the company's workers are presumed dead. Operators of the ship lost power and apparently issued a mayday call. 2 have been rescued from the water. 2 of the construction workers, 1 with very serious injuries. At this time, officials are not confirming whether there are any cars in the water as well. Michael Yoshida is in Baltimore amid the search for victims.
To hear the words that the Key Bridge has collapsed, it's shocking and heartbreaking.
The sight of a massive cargo ship twisted in the remains of this major Baltimore travel artery surreal. Local, state, and federal emergency response teams have been working the scene by air, by boat, and using dive teams, looking for vehicles and any victims. For now, preliminary findings point to an accident, say investigators.
There is no specific or credible information to suggest that there are ties to terrorism in this incident.
A mayday call from the ship's crew just before 1:30 a.m. Eastern Time gave officials critical minutes to warn motorists heading towards the bridge.
Many of the vehicles were stopped before they got onto the bridge, which saved lives in a very, very heroic way.
Initial reports from the Coast Guard indicate that a harbor pilot and assistant were on board.
Maritime and Port Authority officials in Singapore, where the cargo ship is registered, confirmed that the vessel, Dolly, temporarily lost propulsion and dropped anchor as an emergency measure prior to the crash. The vessel's lights were seen flickering, then going out completely before it hit one of the bridge's key support pillars. While assessing the human toll remains the priority for response agencies, there's also a devastating impact to the region's economy.
We're one of 4 deep water ports that can handle the larger Panamax ships. We have a cruise terminal. So, getting through this is going to be really hard.
In Baltimore, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. I apologize that I'm making a video in my truck whilst driving, but I have someplace to be, and I don't want to forget what I want to say. And I woke up this morning in Area 51, literally. And I went to Lovelock Cave. But before I did that, I had an internet signal, so I watched a video by Manyfish, and it showed a Singapore tanker hitting a bridge and taking the bridge out completely, 100%. That, my friends, is exactly what we do when we go into another country to spread democracy. We take out their lights, we take out their fuel supply, and we take out their infrastructure. This was like being bombed, except instead of using an F-18 or a stealth bomber, which people may have noticed. noticed, but probably not because it's America. They used an oil tanker or whatever type of a tanker it was, and they took out a massive port and a highway at the same time. That's because they're prepping the battlefield. Now pay attention. We've already watched over the last couple of years, we've watched them take out an enormous amount of food production plants, etc., that we have in the United States. And they're going to start taking out roadways because they need to make it impossible for people to move around freely in the next month or so. Do you see what I'm saying? At any rate, I'll leave it at that. Sinking. The bridge is gone. Holy hell.
Yeah, this live stream didn't have any audio, so I'll just narrate. You can see the ship right there smashes into, I mean, really smashes hard into a main support structure and collapses the entire bridge. I mean, you got to understand, this thing is 1.5 miles long. And oddly enough, I'm just telling you, the road that goes over it is Route 695. That's 69. And this is a really, really major incident. And so far, it doesn't seem like the news is really treating it that way. This is going to cause some major disruptions. I mean, that shuts off the port itself until they can at least get this debris out of the way. Never mind shutting down Route 695. This right here is live after the fact. It's 3:26 right now, March 26, 8:30 in the morning. This just happened 7 hours ago. And this is a big deal, in my humble opinion. So technically it was on the 25th, Shushan-Purim. Just saying. It's a big mess they got right there, and that is a major, major disruption. So, it is the morning of March 26th, 2024. I started recording this at 8:46 a.m., ironically, and not intentionally. This bridge, the Francis Scott Key Bridge, collapsed after it got hit by a ship this morning, very early this morning. So technically 3/4 of the country was still in March 25th, Shushan-Purim. But I need to tell you about this because this line, if any of you have watched my videos, you know that there are specific lines that run from the Georgia Guidestones all the way up through to the Bunker Hill Monument in Boston, Massachusetts, which encompasses essentially what you'd call the original 13 colonies. That's how I look at it, the 13 rebellious colonies. And if you follow this line,
it goes right over New Haven, Connecticut, and Hartford, Connecticut, too.
2 degrees, 3 degrees, all the way around over to London, which has a multitude of stories in and of itself, all the way to Mount Hermon in southern Lebanon, northern Israel. And I've shared a lot about that with you before. This is just an amazing thing to me that I do believe is just showing us something. You know what I mean? But to me, that's just very, very interesting.
All right. So that's interesting. And bad. If that highway connects all those cities, I'm sure there's ways around it, but it is big that a boat. I don't know what to call it, a freight liner or whatever you would call it, that has all the cargo ship, hits one of our bridges. And my opinion, I've seen it from other angles. It don't look like an accident. Because if you see it, the ship would have missed it. It kind of looked like it turned into the bridge. But what do I know? I want to know what you guys think in the comments. And I'm not going to make this no longer. Peace out and...
Sir, step out of the car, please. I am a cop, and you will respect my authority.
Peace out, everybody.